So here we are back in NHL 17. Auston Matthews, it's his rookie year. He's an 86 overall playmaker, and I'm going to win this team a Stanley Cup. I'm going to rebuild the Toronto Maple Leafs and not only get them out of the first round, because that's our first challenge, but I'm going to get them a Stanley Cup. So looking at this team, immediately you can tell there's a big difference between this team and the current Toronto Maple Leafs team. Of course, Tyler Bozak's still here, JVR, Nazem Kadri, a few of the differences on the forward lines. Looking at the defense, the only player still on this team is Morgan Riley. And of course, in between the pipes, we got 88 overall Freddie Anderson, and he's going to be leading the way for us. So in order to start the rebuild, I got to make a few moves, and I want to say this right off the bat. This is not realistic whatsoever. So everything I'm doing right now obviously would not happen in real life, because I'm trading Tyler Bozak, Gaucher, and a second round pick over to the San Jose Sharks for Tomas Hertl and Timo Meier. I think this trade is going to work out pretty well for us, and in about 2 seasons, we're going to have an absolutely elite team. So to start the season off, I'm going to simulate halfway through the year, and then we'll see how the team's looking and make moves accordingly. So far at the halfway point, the Toronto Maple Leafs are looking way better than expected, sitting 9th in the entire league with a 23-11-7 record. Looks like the boys are putting in work. So Auston Matthews in his rookie year, he's currently on pace for about 20 goals. That's a bit different than the current Auston Matthews, to say the least. Well, Freddie Anderson, he's picked up 15 wins and he's got a 190 goals against. So in order to make the Toronto Maple Leafs team a bit better, I thought I'd go through every team's trade block to see if there's anyone out there that I could pick up. And then I saw this guy, Andrei Vasilevskiy. Yes, you heard that right. Andrei Vasilevskiy, 86 overall, Andrei Vasilevskiy, 22-year-old Andrei Vasilevskiy. Now I want to make this trade incredibly bad. Like, I really want to make this move, but I also really want to win a Stanley Cup with Frederik Andersen. As much as I want to make this move, and as much as it would make sense for this team, I just can't do it. So instead, we're making a trade that's going to bring Mattias Ekholm to the team. We went to the grocery store for Andrei Vasilevskiy and came back with Mattias Ekholm. No disrespect to Mattias Ekholm, but Vasilevskiy's in a different tier. A week before the trade deadline, the team's still looking alright with a 31-20-8 record, so I want to make one more move. And that move's going to send Zaitsev, Brown, Nielsen, and a second round pick over to the Anaheim Ducks for Shea Theodore and Rickard Rakell. At this point, Shea Theodore is still a young up and coming defenseman, but Rickard Rakell, he's going to add some center depth on our second and third lines. When the season came to an end though, we got a bit of disappointment, finishing 18th in the entire league with a 40-34-8 record, and we're missing the playoffs. But Auston Matthews, he's going to see a bit of success in his rookie year, emphasizing the word a bit, because he's picking up 58 points consisting of 17 goals and 41 assists. In his rookie year, he picked up 17 goals. Alright then, and Freddie Anderson, he's picking up 29 wins for us, a 242 goals against. I guess those numbers are okay. Taking a look at the entire league, we got Tyler Seguin leading the way, 53 goals and 50 assists for 103 points. Looking at these numbers and seeing the players is just so weird to me. Like, finishing 4th in the league in scoring, that's going to be Adam Henrique. And we got Kyle Turris down here. I think Kyle Turris is retired at this point. Is he retired? I'm pretty sure Kyle Turris is retired. Shout out to Kyle Turris then. And leading all goaltenders in wins with 45, that's going to be Pekka Rinne, and he's also picking up a 236 goals against. Looking at some of these names is making me feel old. Like Corey Crawford, Roberto Luongo, Henrik Lundqvist, Steve Mason. Been a minute since I've seen some of these guys. When the postseason came to an end, Ottawa's going to be hoisting the Stanley Cup over the LA Kings in 7 games. And leading the way in the postseason, that's going to be Mike Hoffman, 8 goals, 17 assists, 25 points. And Yager, he's coming in second in postseason scoring. Who would have thought? And the goaltender that's going to be hoisting the Stanley Cup, that's going to be Craig Anderson. He's picking up the 16 wins with a 235 goals against. You'll love to see it. Congrats on the Stanley Cup, my guy. Taking a look at the draft lottery results, Toronto's going to finish with the 13th overall pick. And I found this guy named Nico Hischier still available. I'm not too sure if he's any good, so I guess I'm going to draft him. But after I made the selection, I came to the conclusion with something. Nothing about the current NHL is going to relate to any of these draft picks. Like, hypothetically, a guy like Jesper Bratt, who's drafted in the 6th round, if I see Jesper Bratt's name and I'm like, oh my god, elite player in Jesper Bratt, I select him, he's going to have AHL potential because nobody expected him to be this good. So from now on, I'm just having the CPU doing the drafting. In the re-sign phase, we don't have too many extensions to give out. Leipzig, 3 years at 1.2 million, and Zach Hyman, 3 years at 900k. Now we're in free agency, but I'm only making 2 moves. Sam Gagner at 3x3, and Darcy Kemper, I want you to be the backup here, 1 season at 1.8 million. So I just want to mention this again. At no point did I ever say this was going to be a realistic rebuild. I actually said at the beginning of this video, it would be unrealistic. So I'm sending a first round pick, Reichel, and a prospect over to the Chicago Blackhawks, and I'm picking up Artemi Panarin. I think this trade should work out well for us. So looking at this team, with all the growth we've seen, this forward core is looking absolutely elite. On the first line, Panarin, Matthews, and James Van Riemsdyk, yeah, they're going to absolutely dominate. Taking a look at the defensive core, with the additions of Shea Theodore and Mattias Ekholm for a full season now, I'm expecting us to hold it down defensively. And Freddie Anderson, just keep doing your thing, my guy. Before we get into this season though, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to pass my favorite team, the St. Louis Blues, in YouTube subscribers, and I won't be able to do that if you don't subscribe, especially if you're part of the 73% of people that aren't subscribed. So if you haven't already, subscribe, turn notifications on, and help me pass my St. Louis Blues. Halfway through the season, Toronto's looking absolutely elite with a 25-11-6 record, and we're currently 4th in the entire league. Morgan Rielly, he's going to be leading the way with 9 goals and 30 assists for 39 points. Morgan Rielly's ahead of Artemi Panarin and Auston Matthews currently. Well then, not too sure what to say about that one. Looking at the goaltending situation, Frederik Andersen, he's doing what I expected, 22 wins at 235 goals against. Nothing I have to worry about. So the one thing I haven't really been paying attention to is what player style a player is. Auston Matthews, he's a playmaker. By rights, he should be a sniper. And the positions also don't line up with today's current NHL. Like Mitch Marner, he's a center. So currently on our forward core, I think we have 9 centers. So I'm going to make a trade to fix that. And that trade is going to involve Nazem Kadri heading over to the San Jose Sharks for Mikkel Brocker and Justin Braun. Ideally, this trade is going to help fix our forward lines, and our defensive pairings, they just got a bit stronger. When the season came to an end, Toronto's rolling. 50, 24, and 8, we're first in the entire league, and I'm an elite GM, and of course I know exactly what I'm doing. In saying that, I also have like 9 centers on the team, so I don't really know that much. Artemi Panarin is going to have a fantastic season. He's picking up 76 points, consisting of 19 goals and 57 assists, while Freddie Andersen, he's holding it down like usual. 42 wins, a 237 goals against. Now let's go get a Stanley Cup. Looking at the entire league, Alexander Ovechkin is going to casually pick up 76 goals. Yeah, Ovi's going to pick up 76 goals. All right then. And Jake the Snake, he's going to lead all goaltenders in wins with 42 and a 245 goals against. Come back to St. Louis, my guy. I know we traded you away for basically nothing and got absolutely finessed, but Jordan Binnington stinks right now and we need a goaltender. Come save the franchise, we need a bit of help. So with Toronto making the postseason, we got the Penguins in the first round. I'm not even focused on a Stanley Cup this season. Let's just get out of the first round. If we can make it out of the first round, I've done something Toronto couldn't. We won 2 games. And that's a start. It's not a good start, but it's a start. We're falling in the first round. Great work, boys. When the postseason came to an end, Tampa's going to go on to win the Stanley Cup, defeating the LA Kings in 5 games. Panarin's going to lead the team in the postseason, picking up 4 points, but let's be fair, we got eliminated in 6 games. What are we really expecting? And Steven Stamkos, he's going to lead all postseason scorers, 12 goals, 7 assists for 19 points, and this is where it hurts a bit. Andrei Vasilevsky, our Stanley Cup winning goaltender. I could have traded for you. By rights, I should have traded for you, but we're winning a Stanley Cup with Freddie Andersen. He's going to be the guy for us. Entering the re-sign phase, we got a few guys to bring back, and we're getting some absolute steals. William Nylander, 4 years at $4.8 million. Tomas Hertl, 3 years at $3.4 million. Shea Theodore, 3 years at $2.5 million. Josh Levo, 2 years at $1.8 million. Darcy Kemper, 2 years at $1.6 million. And JVR, 3 years at $5 million. So this trade right here, an absolutely massive mistake. Rickard Rakell, I'm going to send you to the Columbus Blue Jackets for Pierre-Luc Dubois, a 3rd rounder, and David Clarkson. So my thought process was, David Clarkson, yeah, he's got a bad contract. That shouldn't be too hard to trade, right? I'm going to attempt to send David Clarkson along with a 1st, a 2nd, and 2 3rd rounders over to the Arizona Coyotes for a 7th round pick. They won't accept this because they don't want to take on David Clarkson's contract that bad. I'm giving you a 1st, a 2nd, and 2 3rds just to take him on for 2 seasons. And you guys are saying, nah, that's way too expensive for us. You guys are at the bottom of the league and you stink, and I'm trying to give you draft picks to help you rebuild, and you're saying, nah, we'd rather keep our 7th rounder. There's a reason why Arizona is a poverty franchise. And the final move before free agency comes to an end, Connor Carrick, 3 years at $3.6 million. A bit of an overpayment for him, but he's 24 years old and he's developing nicely, so why not? So taking a look at this team, not only do we have a lot of young players, but everyone continues to develop. And Matthews, he's up to a 90 overall. Looking at the defense, our lowest overall is an 83 Justin Braun, so I'm not worried about this whatsoever. And Freddie Andersen, I'm a bit concerned with you, my guy. Last season in the postseason, you absolutely folded. I can't have that again. Don't make me regret that Vasilevsky trade. I mean, I already do regret it, but hey, we're gonna win a Stanley Cup with this man. At the halfway point, Toronto's looking even better than last season with a 29-8-4 record, and we're 2nd in the entire league. And once again, Morgan Rielly, he's gonna be leading the way, 12 goals, 23 assists, 35 points. But bro, how is this dude 4th in scoring? He's a 4th line player for us. 4th line, and he's got 30 points in 41 games. I signed this man to a 3-year contract worth $1.8 million, and he's on pace for 60 points. An absolute steal of a deal for me. And taking a look at Frederik Andersen, he's got 25 wins. I mean, I have nothing else to say. Stay locked in. Before we get to the end of the season, I do want to make one trade, and that's going to send Soshnikov and a 3rd rounder over to the LA Kings for Mersh. At the end of the year, Toronto's looking fantastic once again. We're finishing 1st in the entire league with a 54-19-9 record. Taking a look at the Leafs, when the season came to an end, Morgan Rielly's going to be leading the way with 19 goals and 44 helpers for 63 points, while Auston Matthews, he's finishing 3rd in scoring with only 59 points. All right, we're in year 3 here. You got to be scoring more than 59 points, and you definitely got to score more than 24 goals. But if Frederik Andersen continues to play like this, then I'm not worried whatsoever. 44 wins and a 195 goals against? Nah, it's definitely our year. Looking at the entire league, Steven Stamkos is going to lead the way with 48 goals and 47 assists for 95 points. points, while Carey Price, he's leading all goaltenders in wins with 46. So here we are back in the postseason. We got the Islanders this time. First round's all we have to accomplish. If we can make it past the first round, then I've done better than Toronto's GMs. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to be taking the Islanders down in 5 games, and I'm already a better GM than Kyle Dubas. But I'm not satisfied with the first round win. We got the Habs in the second round, and I'm looking to get this team to a Stanley Cup. It was a back and forth series, but in game 7, we're picking up the OT win, and now we got the New York Rangers in the conference finals. I definitely didn't expect to be doing this in year 3 of Auston Matthews' career. In game 7 of the conference finals, it's going to be a close one, but we're coming out on top 4-2, and here we are, the Stanley Cup final. The Toronto Maple Leafs are taking on the Dallas Stars. We're 4 games away from winning a Stanley Cup with Auston Matthews in year 3. So far in this video, we're in the year 2019, 4 years ahead of where the Toronto Maple Leafs are, and I'm about to win a Stanley Cup. And that's exactly what the team's going to be doing. We're taking Dallas down in a clean sweep, and the morale of multiple players has increased. Who would have seen that one coming? We just won a Stanley Cup. Why would it go down? Taking a look at Toronto's postseason scores, when it mattered most, Auston Matthews showed up. 6 goals, 15 assists, 21 points. He's leading the way, and in between the pipes, we already knew who it was. Freddie Anderson, 15 wins, a 207 goals against. Congrats on the Stanley Cup. So Toronto, if you guys want to win a Stanley Cup in the most unrealistic way possible, sign me. Let me cook with this team, and I'll get you guys a Stanley Cup.